and it also has a second main celebrity neighbor.
Billionaire in California. What's up? What's up? I'm a multi-billionaire billions, making billions of dollars in California. Because I live in California, I'm making billions of dollars. Have a mansion. You are welcome to my mansion. This is one of my mansions. See all my money. I make billions, billions. I own Lamborghinis, Ferraris. I'm also making movies in Hollywood, making millions, making billions and billions of dollars selling gas.
Technology Group and Billionaire Wireless.
So, welcome.
Not everyone's taste likes classic cars and super luxurious automotives. However, the Mercedes-Benz EQ does feature a handy electric battery. Previewed at the Paris Motor Show in 2016 with the Generation E concept vehicle, the Mercedes-Benz EQ is a five-door SUV that can cover a range of 450 kilometers on a full charge. The car features dual motor all-wheel drive and two electric motors, one on the front axle and one on the rear axle, and also has a top speed of 112 miles per hour. 0 to 60 time is 4.9 seconds, and nifty features include full LED lights, unique front grille, slim tail lights, no exhaust pipes, and ascending wheels. Number 33, Robert Smith, Austin, Texas. When he's not living in his $59 million home in New York City, $2.5 billion man Robert Smith lives in Austin, Texas. The home is mega private, and we've not even been able to find any photos, so comment below if you know more. Number 32, Mike Matanuga, formerly Global 5000. Mike Matanuga owns a large fleet of planes, and we have already covered his stock. However, he owns another plane.
Taking you to our big kitchen.
Megajet comes with an insane price of $24 million new and only the top speed of 50 kilometers an hour. The jet can cover a range of 11,390 kilometers, has
$11,000.
and accommodate 12 to 60 passengers.
About to make some food.
These sections include an air club section, a central four-suite conference area, and an after-free placed in battery relaxation section with two chairs. Old galley has a crew rest chair and crew lavatory with room for chairs.
Making some food.
Number 31, Patrice Monsep, 2000.
Making some food.
Retail price of between $75,000 and $78,000 new. Patrice Monsep's 2007 BMW 750 luxury sedan features a 1.8 engine and a 6-speed 720 automatic transmission. It has sport and manual modes, electric range and circulators with a limited top speed of 230 kilometers an hour or roughly 145 miles per hour. Launching from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 9.5 seconds, the car can run on fuel within 6 kilogram cryogenic tank. Number 30, Oprah Winfrey, Telluride, Colorado home. Another home, and yes, it's once again owned by Oprah, with the medium Telluride home costing the billionaire over $14 million. 5-bedroom home sits on roughly 3.23 acres and measures around 8,700 square feet, featuring a gym, a glass bridge above a great room, and a 45-foot long walkway that leads to a 3-foot observation deck. The home has a 56-foot long wine cellar, its own vehicular to transport skiers directly to private ski slopes, and sits at the end of a heated private road. The property comes with a large hot tub which is treated to swivel-mounted views and is located in its own conservatory. Number 29, Michael Lee Chin, National Commercial Bank of Jamaica. Mr. Lee Chin holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the McMaster University in Canada, and he also has a rather impressive $8.9 billion. He is a Jamaican-Canadian business magnate, investor, and philanthropist who serves as the chairman and CEO of Portland Holdings Incorporated. National Commercial Bank of Jamaica was founded in 1977, but has ruled states as far back as 1837 and is the largest financial group in Jamaica. The National Commercial Bank of Jamaica Limited provides an array of products and services to meet banking needs of customers, deposit accounts, unsecured and secured loans, credit cards, overdraft lines, foreign exchanges, and personal banking services. Number 28, Alico Tango Mansion. Situated in Abuja, this home is worth $30 million and is the epic home of luxury, while now being owned by Africa's richest man, Alico Tango. The huge dining room has space for 23 people, and the home has seen the likes of VIPs, including Bill Gates and former President Goodluck Jonathan. There is a well-stocked kitchen, and the main foyer has a grand marble staircase that goes up 7 floors. The home has luxurious bedrooms with marble ensuite bathrooms that have access to showers and jacuzzis. Number 27, Mike Adenuga Mercedes-Benz AMG 63. Athletic design and extreme dynamism are one way to describe Mike Adenuga's Mercedes-Benz AMG 63 with its all-new AMG specific radiated grille. It features the AMG Speedshift MCT 9-speed transmission. It is electronically limited to 250 kilometers an hour and is powered by an AMG V8 bi-turbo engine. Mercedes-Benz allow you to customize everything on the car, including the outside paint, power wheel, steering wheel, and interior decorations. The AMG steering wheel is lined with fine natural leather, and touch control buttons ensure intuitive user friendliness and are conducted to focus driving. There is a reasonable price tag of £29,000 and 0 to 60 miles per hour happens in just 3.9 seconds. Number 26, Michael Jordan Highland Park Mansion. Black billionaire and star basketball player Michael Jordan has an outstanding net worth of around $1.9 million, and he's not shy to spend his money. His Highland Park Mansion is thought to be worth an estimated $14.9 million and is located in Chicago. This 56,000 square foot house is bigger than open mansion and is thought to cost $100,000 in annual taxes, with the home currently up for sale. The home has a long drive from the number 23 gate and fully grown trees to make sure that absolute privacy is kept to a maximum. Outdoor spaces include a tennis court, an infinity pool with and putting green and stocking fish. Jordan lived in the home for 19 years with the interior consisting of a piano room, and it features the door from the original Playboy Mansion in Chicago. It also has a full basketball court that is the center of the house. Other features include a large relaxation area, dining room, large aquarium built into the wall, 9 bedrooms and 19 bathrooms, along with a cigar room. Full gym lets you keep fit, and the underground wine cellar keeps those drinks fresh for private parties. Number 25, Michael Jordan Charlotte Penthouse. Another Michael Jordan acquisition that sits on more than 6,568 square feet of space. Michael's Charlotte Penthouse sits over Brazilian restaurant Kima. The condo has 4 bedrooms in addition to 3 full bathrooms and 2 half bathrooms, with features for entertaining, including an open floor plan, upgraded entertainment system, and 2 cost around $3.3 million, and it has its elevated gourmet kitchen, outdoor spaces, fireplaces. The building is walking distance from the Time Warner Arena and makes it the perfect location for exploring the city. Number 24, Isabel dos Santos Hiking Yacht. $3 billion woman Isabel dos Santos travels in style when she is on the open seas, snapping up this $35 million 40-meter yacht named Hiken. Dos Santos is the richest woman in Africa, and her father is Angola's president, Jose Eduardo dos Santos, with her owning shares in several Angolan state companies, such as telecom and banking. Bought the yacht in 2015, and it is a 50% yacht built from aluminium and has a top speed of 20 knots. She can accommodate 12 guests in 6 bedrooms and has a crew of around 8. However, it's reported that she parted ways with the yacht in 2016. Her water tanks store around 16,200 litres of fresh water, and it's powered by 2 3,000 diesel engines and propelled by a twin. There is a jacuzzi in the upper deck, skis for water sport activities. Number 23, Roman Nets home. Foster, Billionaire Robertson's home is located in California, named as one of the philanthropy 50 by the Quality of Philanthropy. He purchased the major and it has one of the nicest 360 with a home features 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms and has a hilltop location that contains 11,620 square feet of interior space. The property is accessed by passing through an ornate front gate and up a dramatic driveway that contains kitchen, recycled the varying floors, countertops, and all ultra-high several walk-in closets, a massive sports and bar recreation room, and a lighting gym. Number 22, featuring a completely new 6-litre twin-turbocharged W12 engine, limitless customization, has a top speed of 207 miles per hour, it's 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, time is 3 seconds, and the driving range is 411 miles or 66 kilometers. It features 40 years old active road control system that senses road conditions and changes to the car right. The car has a great HP fuel economy, fast and efficiency emission levels are among the class. Central London is not a problem. We almost forgot to mention the price. It's not cheap, coming in at around $207,000. Number 21, David Stewart Worldwide Technology Holdings. Founded by David Stewart in July 1990, Worldwide Technology Holdings' annual revenue is estimated to be greater than $11 billion. The organization has been recognized by Fortune magazine on their 100 best places to work list for 5 consecutive years. In 2003, combined reported revenues passed $1 billion, and the founders formed Worldwide Technology Holding Company as parent. Worldwide Technology employs more than 3,000 people and operates more than warehousing jobs and throughout the world. Overall, it's a big group that provides technology and supply chain services with a focus on enterprise, commercial, public, and telecommunications services for the private sectors. Number 20, Open Private Jet. Owning a private jet puts you among the elite in the world of the billionaires and people with no expense with her purchase of a Gulfstream. This is one of the most advanced and most expensive private planes flying today, and has a flight time of $30 million. The aircraft can accommodate 40 passengers, has a top speed of 920 kilometers an hour, and a range of 12,960 kilometers, and was named the 2014 winner of the Collier Trophy for having strengthened business aviation through significant technological advancements. Cabin is 8 feet 6 inches wide and 6 feet 5 inches high, allowing the aircraft to carry between 11 and 18 passengers. The Gulfstream cabin management system incorporates touchscreen technology, allowing passengers to adjust lighting, window shades, and entertainment, remote handheld Apple devices, and select Google Android devices. Number 19, Mike Adenuga 9 Duplex Home. Possibly one of the largest homes on Banana Island, Nigerian billionaire Mike Adenuga owns a home. The thing he is buying property after first starting out as a taxi driver is quite remarkable, and his home is set to back $1,000. Mr. Adenuga's mansion occupies care and needs to, as he welcomes many guests to the property for business purposes. The estate includes 9 duplexes with 8 apartments for visitors and family members, and the famous businessman holds only one house as his residence. This vast estate includes a meeting hall for 200 guests, a church and mosque, a berth for yachts, a large indoor
every day
swimming pool,
they're getting on the
car
YouTube
park.
channel
Regards to
here.
security,
It
chance
didn't
of
look like
taken.
a
The
crazy
dedicated
mess he
wall
talking
fence and
about.
2 watchtowers.
So,
Number
yeah,
18,
look
over
like
Wickery
yeah,
Horse
they're
Farm
telling you
Estate.
so you
The
still
house,
crazy.
and yes, you guessed
You
it,
still
single
crazy
rich
up
oak
to now.
is the current owner of this classic ranch estate
Oh,
located in Montecito,
because he keep
California.
putting his head there.
$28 million home features a 23-acre horse farm and a main home with 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a pool, and a fish pond. Celebrity neighbours include Jeff Bridges, Ellen DeGeneres, and Drew Barrymore, and the estate was not on
Was
the
it
market
in
for
our
10
street?
years. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime.
You with the billionaires
Number
in the
17,
VIP,
Femi Otedola,
they carrying
yacht,
you around the
latest high-end
mansion.
recreational boats. Femi Otedola's luxury yacht retails for
That's the
around
story.
£1.7 million and is a 2010 Sunseeker Predator 84. She has a fiberglass hull, is 27 inches long, and is fitted with 2
What
243
did he
with
ask you?
the boat officially launched in 2010. The boat has a decent cruising speed of 32 miles per hour, and you can get a generous hardtop roof, which lets a lot of natural light in when it is open, and a sumptuous fly bridge with a modern cockpit. The boat can accommodate up to 8 guests, 3 crew members, so it's fantastic. Number 16, Patrice
You know what? That thing you're doing in California, that you go sit down there, you're using the charm on somebody. Just for the children and business.
And the club's nickname, Resilience, is a reference to their suffocating.
If the children were holding yours and they were disturbing to the jaw,
Won the league title a record 8
and they were
times,
there,
and
they
they were
were doing
2016 CAF Champions League champions and 2016 CAF
I mean,
Club of the Year.
there's a reason for everything.
4 times and hold the joint record for
All the problems,
Football League
even the
Championship,
PPE in the
first
cup,
South African team,
they taking their document, they this.
Cup, where they finished in 6th place. Number 15, Michael Jordan, North Carolina home. You might be asking yourself, does Michael Jordan own more houses than Oprah Winfrey? The answer is no, he does not. He does own his 12,310 square foot home on North Carolina's Lake Norm, which he
I mean, everything that happened got something to do with that. Everything that happened got something to do with it.
3-level home has a fitness centre and a 2-story great room that opens to a terraced patio, features a large pool and sparse backyard with great lakeside views.
Everything
14,
that happened
Alico
got
Dango's
something to do
business empire. Okay, so we could not
with that.
find a toy for every section of the list. However, we can take a look back at why some of these billionaires are so rich, and you will be surprised to know that Alico Dango started with just $3,000. He began to import and sell agricultural commodities in Nigeria,
Got something to
repaying the
do with
entire loan to 3 months of starting
everything
operations.
you see
With an
happening.
estimated net worth
If
of
you did
$14.1
something like
billion,
that,
the
if you say the
Dango
children
Group
holding
is
you
now
for
one of the
something,
largest private sector
and
employers
you know
in
they only
Nigeria.
go
The company's
and
business
people.
interests include many
I was,
industries
I
such as
was
oil
telling
and
them
gas,
that they,
consumer goods,
by
and
right, you're not
manufacturing,
supposed to
with
be
about
complaining,
80% of his conglomerate's revenue
saying
coming
that
from
you're
cement.
taking their document,
Alico is so
doing
rich that he
this,
can walk
doing
into
that.
Bentley and buy a Mills
Because see, the
which
kind of
retails
thing
for a price tag
you go
of
use charm
$310,000
just to
in a
prove
split
that the
second,
person
and
not
not
lying.
even notice his bank balance is dropped. Number 13 is Isabel Santos Miami Beach Club. Africa's richest
Because
woman
the
actor
time
in
they
Portugal,
didn't use
with
the
an
charm.
estimated worth of $465 million. This kind of cash on
At the
tap
time,
allows her to snap up real estate like picking up pennies.
at the time they
1997.
didn't use
At
the
the age
charm.
of just
You know that
24 years old,
they were
she
just
opened
behind
up
you.
the I was once asked what the warp speed was, and I said, well, you can't do it on the freeway. Yeah.
Number 8. 8. Oh, number 8. It's easy to take for granted being able to open a newspaper
Number
or
12 is Adenuga Ahmed Bentley Mulzane. While we could not feature Aliko Dango's Bentley Mulzane, the second richest person in Nigeria,
You know that they were
Adenuga
just behind
also
you.
owns one, and it's a beast. Choice of royalty. This car is fully armored from the wheel wells to the roof and costs a ridiculous $2.2 million. Miles on it has a 6.75-litre twin-turbocharged V8 engine built in, and the vehicle offers an extra 250 millimetres legroom for rear seat passengers, and is the most spacious in the whole series. Glass sunroof, state-of-the-art entertainment system, and airline style pilot seats, and just a few of the special features in this
Because if you see that amount of
security
children
includes reinforced door
behind
hinges,
for something,
ECM armor,
and
flak
you go
armor,
use the
battery
charm
armor,
to see
steel
whether
case,
you lying or not.
protection, 4-inch bulletproof windows, and run
I'm
flat
telling you,
tires.
I say
This is
it
by
will
far
be
the
the
best
reason.
armored car to invest in if you are private individual, celebrity,
It will
diplomat,
be
politician,
the reason
or
for
executive
everything,
that can afford the
for
price
taking
tag.
your
Number
document,
11,
for
Michael
not having
Jordan,
girlfriend,
Gulfstream
for
4,
not
costing
going to school,
$36 million.
for not having
Michael
job,
Jordan's private
for
Gulfstream
sitting
4
down
jet
home.
aircraft has a
Or
maximum cruise
everything
height
now
of
lead to it,
45,000
lead to
feet,
the charm.
and its top speed can
Because
reach Mach 0.77.
the charm,
The aircraft type set 22
the
world
reason,
records in its class,
they
flying
use
west
the
around the
charm,
world in 5 hours and 25 minutes, and in 1990,
because they thought
Gulfstream
that
CEO
the time
Alan Paulson
they do
and the
was
flight
disturbing
set
you, they just thought you were lying.
international records. Jet has a range of 4,220 nautical miles, a service ceiling of 45,000 feet, and can carry between 14 to 19 passengers. It costs roughly $5,591 per hour to run the plane, so any trips overseas can quickly build up in price. Not
They
a
just thought
problem,
that you were
however,
lying.
if you're Michael Jordan. Number 10, Oprah Winfrey Orcas Island home. It's Oprah again, another multi-million-pound house thought to have cost the star somewhere in the region of $8.27 million, and it can only be described as a very secluded compound. Orcas Island, one of the 4 largest islands that compromises the San Juan Islands archipelago between Seattle and Vancouver, is beautiful and postcard ready. The house sits on 3,000 feet of unspoiled west-facing shoreline overlooking the island's east sound, and has 2 waterfront parcels that together measure around 43 acres. The home was built in 2007 with 4 bedrooms and 3 full and 2 half bathrooms, with the stone ascending 3-story main residence featuring a copper and slate roof. There is a lounge area with stone-faced fireplace, a dining area, and a colossal kitchen with skylights, huge center island, and built-in pizza oven. Down on the lower level, there is an extensive home office complex along with a wine cellar and tasting room, while outside there is a 2,948 square foot 1980s contemporary guest house containing 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Number 9, Demi Otedola, Rolls-Royce Phantom. Rolls-Royce are the classic British car company responsible for the $600,000 owned by Nigerians.
For more information about Orchard House, visit louisamayalcott.org.
Nearly 100 years, the Phantom has bywords, luxury, exclusivity, and world.
Deep within these coastal cliffs, a monster has hidden for millions of years.
Some bones here!
A beast will emerge that dominated the seas. But how did this creature meet its end?
It looks like it's been attacked. So that's a murder.
Yes, to some.
6 miles of anywhere in Madison.
For discount furniture, cabinets, appliances, and more, shop Habits.
And rents. Get dishes done faster.
Where they plant.
The district has a large population from Asia and Southeast Asia, lots of immigrants. They need to be doing all the things that are important that we're hearing about right now, right? When you're traveling on the subway, the 7 line is often crowded. What do? You try to stand 3 feet away from people, as has been recommended, wiping down surfaces, making sure you wash your hands all the time. At the same time, the American economy is ultimately very resilient. So I think they should be calm about this.
All right, Michelle, if you could just hang on there. We're watching the ship. So we started the hour as the Grand Princess went underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, and then went under the Bay Bridge. And we have stage 4 cancer treatment, chemotherapy treatment tomorrow. And we talked to her earlier, and so we just want to bring her back as Carrie. You're welcome.
How did you do all this?
Wait there. Speaking of dinner, what are we eating, guys?
If you're a man making Super Beta Prospect is the #1 urologist recommended.
and is connected to the X-Drive system. The M760 X-Drive V12 is capable of reaching 62 miles per hour. 0.8 seconds faster than the current.
You go explain that guy. I didn't know somebody. See the answer to the person
The
you
engine is connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which features M4 software.
the amount of children.
Upgrades to the already luxurious cabin include a new M4 steering wheel, an illuminated V12 logo, and pedals. Additional changes over the standard 7 Series include bespoke 20-inch column wheels, a quad exhaust system, and an M4 body kit, which includes subtly retrofile bumpers, front and rear. An optional rear spoiler is also available. Number 6, Michael Jordan Cadillac XLR. Manufactured and marketed by Cadillac in 2003 to 2009 and comes a single generation. This car is known for its attractive hard top, Bulgarian design, interior instruments, heads-up display, and adaptive suspension.
The wrong way of doing it when they come, they don't say anything.
Engine and has a 6-speed SL80
They
automatic
just start accusing
which
you
can
of
accelerate
doing things to
60
you.
miles per hour in 4
I don't know what's going on. You're doing something like that. I made somebody so angry. That thing making me angry. Girl, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Motor show, the concept car was based on the Mercedes-Benz S-Class sedan as were the production models. The Maybach 62S appeared in November 2006 at the Auto China 2006 exhibit in Beijing, and it features the same engine as the 57S.
I don't know what's going on.
However, the suspension remains untouched. Wondering where else you have seen this car before? February 26, 2019 saw North Korea's Chairman Kim Jong-un come to visit Vietnam along with his much more advanced and bulletproof Maybach 62S. Number 4, Isabel Dos Santos.
I don't know what's going on.
Price tag of around $31.5 million. This massive home has 8 bedrooms.
I just hear the children just talking some kind of thing. They will tell you some kind of thing. You got something for us. I didn't tell them to do that. I didn't tell them to go carry money. I see you doing something.
All feature of the house has an independent entrance, a bar area, and a wine tasting table. In addition to the main house, the property has 2 complete apartments with bedrooms, living rooms, and kitchen, both with private entrance and meant for employees and guests. Number 3, Ricky Leo Dennis. Wow, the self-made billionaire made his fortune in natural hair care products, catering primarily to African American women. The 34-room, 20,000 square foot mansion on North Broadway was built in 1918 and was purchased from Madam C.J. Walker in 2018. In 1924, the villa hosted the Walker Beauty Culturists Convention, and he plans to restore the estate.
I'm going to stop.
2017, the company Sundial Brands was acquired by Unilever for an estimated $1.6 billion. Number 2, Fuller Run Show, Kija, Bombardier Global Express XR. Currently the only Nigerian female billionaire to own a private jet, her Bombardier Global Express XR is somewhere in the region of $42 million. The plane can carry 12 passengers, has 2 Rolls-Royce BR710A2 engines, and is built with technology for business travel. It has a top speed of 564 miles per hour.
I get to go everywhere, billion. Yes, cool. Billionaires.
Apologies if I mispronounced any names, and subscribe to top list videos coming soon.
The Seven Seas Explorer. Oh, wow. Oh, look at this, Michael.
A very warm welcome on board the most luxurious ship ever built. It just reeks with luxury around here.
At £8,000 a night for the most expensive suite.
$150,000 bed. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It offers elite travellers the most exclusive holiday at sea.
There is no no. You're never going to hear the word no.
Now they've allowed cameras on board.
It's a little bit of pressure right now for everything.
We go behind the scenes to reveal the secrets of this floating palace.
Guys, we are getting busy now. Get ready. Where's the fish?
What does it take to run a 6-star hotel at sea?
You know, everything has to be perfect.
It's about pride
Perfect.
and love.
But is it all plain sailing?
Oh my God.
Can staff cope with the pressure of providing perfection?
Okay, make it nice. Look how it look like. Let's go, the guests are waiting.
They've got the best hotel in the world, and it moves with you.
So come on board
Absolutely stunning.
as we discover if the cruise ship can live up to its reputation.
The pressure's on all the time. That's the biggest challenge.
The Seven Seas Explorer is the world's most expensive cruise ship. With its sumptuous suites, an all-inclusive holiday could cost you more than £60,000. An army of butlers is on standby to cater to your every need. And its 5 restaurants are ready to serve the finest dining at sea. Today, the Explorer is in Barcelona. Its 550 staff are getting ready to welcome over 700 new guests.
That's for you, I believe.
Oh, yes it is. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. My Beatles masks.
The cruise director is John Barron.
That'd be great for Beatles night though, right? I want to check myself out in the mirror.
Originally from Birmingham, he's been providing entertainment on cruise ships for over 20 years.
Hey, Jude.
But none as lavish as the Explorer.
We've got $6 million worth of art around the ship. Picasso's, Chagall's, $4 million worth of chandeliers everywhere. There's beautiful 6,000 crystals in the main chandelier in our atrium area. The carpets are so plush and you could just sleep on them if you had too much to drink the night before.
With the previous guests having just left, there are only hours to prepare such luxurious surroundings for a new cruise, heading from Barcelona to Southampton. Under the most pressure is chief housekeeper Sunny.
We have to make 350 suites ready in a very short period of time. It's a race for time. That's why I'm wearing trousers and sneakers today.
But when you have guests that expect the best, what kind of suites will greet them?
Everything needs to be, lined up and straight and in a certain way that it's supposed to be.
While many cruise ships have over 2,000 cabins, the Elite Explorer has just 350 suites, but they all need to be perfect.
I love it. Embarkation is very exciting. Yeah.
From the cheapest suites, costing over £700 a night.
It's a lot of things happening at the same time, but it's good. This is Grand Suite.
To the Grand Suite at almost £3,000 a night.
I love this particular suite because I love the leather wallings. If I was a guest, I would always stay in the Grand Suite. If I had the opportunity. Maybe one day, you never know.
But for those with very deep pockets, there's the Regent Suite. At £8,000 a night, It's the world's most expensive cruise ship suite.
I mean, it's the best. You'll never find it anywhere else at sea.
Measuring 4,400 square feet, it's almost 6 times bigger than the average British home.
It's the most luxurious address at sea.
Located on the top deck above the bridge, it's certainly got the best view on board. In charge of preparing it for the next guest is the ship's head butler, Raju.
Everything has to be perfect, immaculate, spick and span.
The suite includes a custom-made Steinway piano worth £400,000, which has specialist tunes before every cruise. There's the collection of crystal the cleaners might want to be kept when dusting.
These are all Lilic and Murano. It's about 140,000, just right here on the shelf.
And there's also a Savoy bed worth £120,000. If that's not enough for you, how about a golden bathroom with its very own spa?
This has to be ready before the guest comes on board.
But can they get everything done in time for guests who demand the very best? Across the ship, staff are carefully polishing the brass, while below deck there's been a delivery of thousands of pounds worth of fresh flowers. They need to be carefully sorted by the Explorer's very own flower arranger. But they're not put in any old vases. This arrangement is going in an £8,000 La Ligue vase. But how do you restock a luxury cruise ship with over 200 tons of the finest supplies?
Can you show me how much more you have to load?
Facing that challenge is food and beverage director Stefan.
Are we going to finish on time? No, we're selling earlier.
Stefan's team will load around 3,000 bottles of wine, 2,000 pounds of lobster, and 15 tons of fresh fruit.
We have an hour and a half maximum to finish the loading.
Ruslan looks busy there, doesn't he?
Yeah, Ruslan is running, and it's a good sign. I like that. There's a sense of emergency, and it's very important.
The Explorer will leave port at 5 p.m, whether they're finished or not. And when you're a luxury liner, being delayed is not an option.
We have to pool as many resources as possible just to load. We never want to leave anything on the pier.
But it's not just about quantity.
Oh, banana, chef.
Everything must be of the highest quality.
If you look at a very serious scenario, it's almost tenfold. But just focus on a moderate scenario.
He's brought
As you
executive
take
chef
those
Michael
numbers, let me tell you
to
that
check
in
the
the United States, half of what we possibly need. We have about 62,000 breathing machines.
We have to be prepared for every eventuality.
We are always ordering the bananas in 2 or 3 different stages. Ripe, half-ripe, and unripe. Going on a 12-day cruise. So if all the bananas would be fully ripe from the start, then we wouldn't have enough. They would go bad, have this in the cruise.
He's a physician and assistant
Luxury, all the way.
medicine at George Washington University Hospital. So Dr. Phyllis,
My favourite part is Constellation Theatre.
do you agree with Sandra?
Spelled the American way.
Hospitals just aren't prepared for what's to come.
Well,
This is my first cruise back on board. I'm a little bit nervous.
The
Back
numbers
on
that you
board, John is in the Art Deco-inspired theatre, decked out with the finest wood paneling and handcrafted Venetian glass lamps on every table.
It is beautiful though. Have you seen it from here? It's such a great feeling to look out.
Seating over 700 people, it's the centre of John's entertainment programme and where he'll perform his own one-man show.
It's always nerve-wracking every single cruise you do. You need the right audience, and if you get them in your palm, you've got them for the rest of the cruise.
Life of Billionaire.
So I used to work on the holiday camps back in 1997, and that was a great place to learn your trade. Sometimes you can throw that in, like in my show, for example, and the Americans love that.
All John needs are some guests, but there's still work to be done. Back in the £8,000 a night Regent Suite,
Good morning, Raju here.
Raju is waiting for an inspection.
Sure, thank you. Bye.
General Manager Michael has arrived with Sunny at the suite's opulent entrance.
To add to the wow factor, if we have two Picassos just bookcasing the entrance. Hi, Raju, we have the flowers.
Thank you, thank you.
There we go. Where do you want them? They're pretty tall, huh? Maybe on the table in the front?
Of course, the difference between a luxury hotel on land and one at sea is items need to be more secure.
You almost dropped it again.
Okay, Raju.
Yes.
Very important. As soon as we sail tonight, I don't know if you have a ratchet strap, even a bungee strap, whatever, just make sure that doesn't go down.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
It's time for Michael and Sunny to check the world's most expensive suite is up to scratch.
I'm just checking to make sure that there's no broken pages.
Will Raju get their seal of approval? Nothing is missed.
Follow up one more time, yeah, because of the fingerprints.
Everything has to be perfect.
2 neck pillows.
2 neck pillows.
Okay, so they have all that there.
Yes.
Okay. This suite is our showcase for the fleet, so we want to make sure it lives up to its reputation. This is for men. This is for ladies. We want to impress the lady of the house.
Absolutely.
So is this $8,000 a night suite ready?
Great job. The suite looks very good.
Thank you.
Up to standard. We'll do as proud. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Thanks,
See you all
Raju.
later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The ship is ready. In a matter of hours, it looks as good as new, with the finest champagne chilled and waiting. It's now time to welcome the guests.
The best thing for me, really, is when the guests walk on the ship on embarkation day and the first thing they see is that massive, grand chandelier.
When you're greeted with a glass of champagne and then you look straight up at that magnificent chandelier, you think, wow.
Their jaw just drops to the floor and they're like, okay, we're in serious luxury here.
When I walked in, it was wow, this is really beautiful.
As the ship leaves Barcelona heading for Southampton, for the guests, it should be a trip of a lifetime.
We're going to party this thing up. We're going to see if it lives up to his name.
For all the staff, this is when the hard work really begins. They know expectations are high, and the pressure is on them to deliver.
The start of a cruise is always, what are we going to get? Who are we going to get? How are they going to react? You just don't know what's coming up the gangway.
The world's most expensive cruise ship is making its way from Barcelona to the south of Spain. Behind the scenes, 550 staff are striving to make it the trip of a lifetime for 700 discerning guests. The pressure is on.
Service, good morning.
Luxury means anticipating your needs before you have to ask for them. It's like you've got the best hotel in the world and it moves with you.
Exactly. There is no. You're never going to hear the word no. They're going to do everything that they can to make sure that they fulfill your request.
It's about working hard and able to play hard.
Please read the programme, though. We have skittles going on in the morning.
Cruise director John is in charge of the ship's entertainment.
And then myself, the captain, and the general manager will be dashing around each deck.
To let the guests know what's going on, he's even got his own TV channel.
And we do have a very special pre-dinner cocktail party. I love making sure that they know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, good day.
Which can be seen in all
the... But I kind of pretend that it's new to me. So I'm like, oh, look what's going on today. Now, this evening's dress code is elegant casual. We're kindly asking all of our guests.
It seems John is already making an impression on the guests.
Do you want an interview? If you're just yourself, they feel like they know you. This is great. I might not have seen a guest for 4 days, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, I love watching your TV show.
And what's your name? Courtney.
Courtney? Where are you from?
Virginia.
West or just normal Virginia?
Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia.
Crazy Virginia.
I'm like, oh, it's the best rated channel on the Explorer. Is it your first time with Region? Or second.
Yeah.
What did you do before?
Best of the Mediterranean.
The best of the Mediterranean.
This might be the best also of the Mediterranean.
Yeah. I didn't like the worst of the Mediterranean
No, I did
cruise.
not
That was a
either.
terrible cruise.
It was
wasn't
horrible, so we had to come back with it.
But it was on another cruise line anyway, which we can't name for legal
And you
reasons.
were there.
I used to do this when I was 16, getting the bus to town, sit and talk to people and have a bit of a chat and have a laugh. And are you on honeymoon?
Yes, my 23rd wedding
Your 23rd wedding anniversary. Oh, I love you, Courtney. Thank you for photo booking.
Thank you.
Oh, kiss me on both cheeks. I love it. But that means they feel at home, right? They can just come and intrude on the TV show. It's great.
While John is looking after the entertainment on the bridge, in charge of manoeuvring this £370 million ship,
0718 Thursday.
is Italian captain Serena Milani. She's one of a handful of female cruise ship captains.
It's never boring to us. It's always something different.
Being Italian, she brings with her some traditional European superstitions, like having garlic hidden on the bridge to ward off, not vampires, but the evil eye, an ancient curse thought to bring bad luck.
Will not make you do anything better or worse, but I like, and so far it's working because I was very lucky.
No crashes, just.
Hopefully she won't need any luck as the Explorer enters the busy port of Malaga, the birthplace of Picasso, an artist whose work adorns the walls of the ship. A local pilot is coming on board to help navigate. When you're at the helm of a ship as special as this, there's a lot at stake. With the side door open, the pilot's boat will need to pull alongside the Explorer perfectly, allowing him to jump on board safely.
Even the easiest sport can become challenging, or if you underestimate, if you are too confident in what are you doing.
Pilot boat approaching.
The pilot boat changes direction. It then needs to match the Explorer's speed. There's no room for error. One slip against the 55,000-ton cruise ship could be disastrous. He's on board safely. With the pilot's local knowledge, they'll try to avoid any nearby fishing boats.
Okay, we are almost alongside.
And safely dock,
Iremos 20 metros, quizá les trinque de bien ahí en el.
hopefully with all the expensive vases intact.
Okay, we are alongside.
The luxury ship has arrived in Malaga, allowing the well-heeled guests to taste the delights of southern Spain.
This one is a finger licker.
Because after you're done eating it, I'll lick your fingers again.
What they don't realize is the work that goes on while they're away. Behind the scenes,
Here we're gonna go to the expensive item freezer, and I have to wear a jacket.
doing a stocktake of the luxury stores,
That's where I live.
is food and beverage director Stefan.
What we have here, we have the caviar, individual portions of caviar, large cans of caviar. We're talking, $20,000-$30,000 of caviar. We have the lobsters. We have the foie gras. Foie gras, French.
Every voyage, the Explorer can get through up to 8 kilograms of caviar.
You don't run out of caviar. You don't run out of foie gras. It's just not going to happen.
At around minus 25 degrees, it's not somewhere to stay too long.
Fogs on the glasses and red nose and red ears. I keep it close to my face, so we're gonna go quicker.
While Stefan warms up, elsewhere in the hidden world below deck, Chief laundry room like no other.
I come to see the laundry master to see if there's any issues, if everything is working properly.
Running 24 hours a day, a team of 12 have a mountain of luxury linen and bedding to clean. These huge washers get through 1.5 tons of washing every day.
In here we have dry cleaning machines that are used for special garments.
Sunny needs to check it's all running smoothly. They don't want to ruin any of the guests' designer clothes.
How is the guest laundry?
Many of the ship's top-tier passengers, this is a complimentary service.
We always follow the guest instruction. They would like to have starch, no starch, folded or on a hanger.
Even their smalls get the 5-star treatment.
So we are folding and wrapping all the items and goes back to the suites. Even if it's just a pair of socks, then we wrap it in a white paper with the Regent logo. Everything goes to the suite in the box. You get a your clean laundry bag and a nice little present.
It's time for the Explorer to set sail for Cadiz. The ship is gearing up for a busy evening. In the main restaurant, the tables are prepared with the specially designed Versace place settings. With over 100 grams worth of these plates, they'll be hoping the sea stays calm.
Have you been on before? No, not on this one.
While along each deck, champagne is being poured for a special Regent cruise ship tradition, known as the block party.
It goes back to the old block parties, I think in America, where the residents chatted outside their doors.
Hello.
We thought, wouldn't that be fun to get our guests who have paid thousands to meet their neighbours?
Cheers. Getting ready for this exclusive gathering is John's photo bomber Courtney and her husband Robert.
I love photobombing. Yeah, we photobombed before photobombing was even a thing.
Oh, we did.
Baby. Was it hot? Woo. Come here, doggy.
In their £1,300 a night suite, they've got
Have
a
you ever thought
chance
about
to watch
outsourcing your
Courtney's
clients' ad
cameo.
work? I mean, giving all of the hard work to an ad agency that provides the absolute best results. An agency that may get even better results than
Courtney's
you.
going to get another
If you don't
chance
start
to
to
see
outsource
John.
your client work, then you will never
It's
be
time
able
for
to
the
grow
rush
your
around the
agency.
ship.
Think about it. And you'll be stuck doing ads instead of growing your business. And I'm sure you have much bigger goals than just a couple of clients that take up all
John
of your
will join
time.
the captain and general
I'm
manager
Wesley from Ad
as
Show.
they
It
go
used to be
past more
just
than
like you.
350
In a place where
suites
I had a
on
few
7
clients, but the
decks.
problem was they were taking up all of my time. So now all I focus on is connecting with business owners and closing new clients. It's as simple
Meeting
as that.
whoever's
All
waiting
the
for
work
them.
now is taken care of by my team here at Ad Show. Well, I have some great news.
That's
Ad
so
Show
John
keeps
doesn't get
improving
lost.
and our team
Down
keeps
here,
growing.
Captain.
This
Oh,
leaves
they
us with
down
a new
there?
and unique problem.
They left already?
People to
Oh,
automate
right.
our ads so much that we have to take on more accounts at a steep discount, allowing us to offer to run all of your clients for one low price. If you want to outsource your client
John
work and
pulls
get
out
even
all the
better
stops
results
to keep
for your
everyone
clients,
happy.
click the button above
Every
or
deck
below this
I'm
video.
always like,
I'll show you exactly
oh, this is the best looking
short
deck.
video.
This is our favourite
So
deck.
click that button right now.
Oh, this is the most
Outsource your
fun
client
crowd.
work.
They're like, you said that upstairs, I'll be like, no, I
We'll
didn't.
do it
This is
for
a
you
good
if
deck,
you want.
honestly.
So click that button now.
Interest
Here we
in
go.
Hollywood,
So click that button.
you want to become somebody
keep bumping into you.
No, oh, yeah,
Well, you know, but the main lady of the ship here.
Children of billionaires quite simply live in an entirely different world. They never want for money, they never have to worry about going hungry, and their parents are among the most powerful people on the planet. At the same time, they are not their filthy rich parents. In many cases, they are expected to forge their own paths in life, rather than simply coast off mummy and daddy's billions. Making a name for oneself is a challenge no matter who you are, but it's a trifle easier for these affluent heirs and heiresses. After all, if they fail, they have the world's cushiest safety net to catch them. And this safety net will likely never, ever go away. Here now are how the children of 10 billionaires live their incredible lives. It's possible you've not heard of Saif Ahmed Belhassa. He's one of those billionaires who largely avoids the international spotlight, at least as much as the multi-billionaire chairman of Emirati industrial conglomerate Saif Belhassa Holding can avoid a spotlight. His son, on the other hand, rather enjoys putting himself out there, and so do his millions of fans. Rashed Belhassa is the 17-year-old offspring of Saif Belhassa, and as far as his personal life goes, that's about all we know. He's a pretty private kid, to the point where we don't know if he has a girlfriend, boyfriend, or simply prefers the company of cats. We do know, however, that he is very rich and loves to show that off. In 2013, Belhassa joined social media, dubbing himself Money Kicks, and immediately started posting pics and vlogs showcasing his ultra-luxurious lifestyle. This lifestyle, by the way, includes owning over 400 exotic animals, over 200,000 pairs of high-end sneakers, and multiple expensive luxury cars. You can never accuse this kid of being humble about his God-given ability to be born rich. Clearly, people liked following his opulent lifestyle, and Money Kicks' follower count rapidly rose. He currently boasts 1.6 million Instagram followers and 2.2 million YouTube subscribers. But Rashed isn't just a popular YouTube kid. He's also an entrepreneur. In 2016, he founded an online clothing brand called, naturally, Money Kicks. There, he sells sneakers, backpacks, clothing, and other swag designed to make you look just as cool as Rashed, though not nearly as bottomlessly wealthy. Chances are the computer you're watching this video on can be traced back to Bill Gates. The founder of Microsoft literally changed civilization with his company's products. So it makes sense that he's currently the second richest man on Earth with a net worth of over $107 billion. His 23-year-old daughter, Jennifer Gates, has lived a blessed life as a result of her father being the Microsoft guy. She went to Stanford University, graduating with a major in human biology. When not being studious, Gates is also a prize-winning equestrian. A horse girl since she was age 6, Gates has competed in many a show-jumping competition and practices on a $37 million estate her father purchased for her several years back. She's competed against the rich daughter of Bruce Springsteen, the rich daughter of Steven Spielberg, the rich daughter of Michael Bloomberg, and the rich daughter of Steve Jobs. Gee, it's almost like horses are a super expensive hobby or something. But don't think Jennifer Gates is some spoiled brat who's got it completely made for life. Her parents worked to raise her humbly, forbidding her from having a phone until she was 14 and enforcing strict limits on screen time.
Right. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Baby.
How often do you buy things on Amazon? Because did you know that 64% of households in America have an Amazon Prime membership? And with that many shoppers, can you actually guess how much a product like this makes every single month? Because I guarantee that the answer is going to shock you. And the best part is that this product actually sells for $30 every single day on Amazon. And I'm going to show you exactly where you can buy it for $5 and literally make all the profit in between that. Because the craziest thing is that self-massager tool makes $59,840 every single month. Not year, every single month. And it's only one of the self-massaging tools that are making tens of thousands of dollars every single month on Amazon. And I hear it every single day. People say, Kevin, this can't possibly be that easy. This has to be some type of scam. If this was a scam, if selling on Amazon was a scam, then how on earth would I have 350,000 subscribers on YouTube? And how would I have literally the biggest Amazon Facebook group in the entire world with almost 100,000 Amazon sellers in it? Because the truth is there's really only one hard part about all of this. You hear people say all the time that Amazon FBA is oversaturated and making money online is impossible. But I'm here to tell you that in 2019, literally it is the best time that you could possibly start to sell on Amazon. Because the thing is, it's not a level playing field. There's unfair advantages that some sellers know that everyone else doesn't. And those are the sellers that are making 6 figures, 7 figures every single year, where a lot of people are just complaining about the fact that it's oversaturated. And luckily for you, I'm going to be showing you all of the unfair advantages to being an Amazon seller from a complete beginner for the first time. I'm putting on a completely free training this week where I'm going to be pulling back the curtain and showing you all of the unfair advantages that myself and 3,000 plus of my students have used to create their Amazon empire. We go over how to find profitable products. We go over how to create the perfect listing. We go over how to rank your product to page 1 so that it gets seen by the most of your target customers. Because we both know that the hard part of Amazon is not actually the business part. You could ask Ben or Matt or Asana, who started from complete beginners and went on to hundreds of thousands of dollars per month with their Amazon businesses. The hard part is not the business. The hard part is getting started. So you have two choices. You can close this video and everything's going to stay exactly the same for you, or you can join our completely free training that we're hosting this week only, and it might change everything. Because the truth is, you literally have nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, you learn more for free, and then that's it. But if this is real, if all these people are actually making all this money on Amazon, can you really afford to let this pass you by? So what you need to do right now is click the link in the top right if you're on mobile, bottom left if you're on desktop, and join our completely free training, because this is not going to be around forever. And I promise you that I'm going to be showing you some unfair advantages that my thousands and thousands of Amazon students use that literally makes it unfair for everyone else. But don't be like 99% of people who procrastinate and never take any action. Be the 1% who joins our free training right now. You have nothing to lose, and I'll see you inside the training.
Life of Billionaire's house. Mamma mia,
around the house. Think of that. The founder of Microsoft telling you to get off the computer. That's like the CEO of McDonald's forcing meatless Mondays on his kid. As for all that money, Bill Gates plans to donate most of it to various charities upon his death, leaving his children with a minuscule portion of his fortune. He wants his kids to make their own money and forge their own path. That's admirable, except the man is worth $107 billion. Even a minuscule portion of that is more money than any of us will ever see in our lives. Say he wills 1% of 1% of his fortune to Jennifer. That's still $10.7 million in her pocket. That is a lot of horses. Hi, Apple founder Steve Jobs' daughter. We were just talking about you. The 21-year-old Eve, yes, Steve named his daughter Eve, lives a life that reflects Jennifer Gates, the daughter of her late father's rival, Bill Gates. Both went to Stanford, with Eve set to graduate within a year or two. Eve is also an award-winning horse jumper, and her mother also purchased an enormous multi-million-dollar Florida property for her daughter to practice at. Right now, being a college student, Eve Jobs' future is in the air, but her father always envisioned her doing big things. Once, he claimed Eve could grow up to run Apple herself, or be president of the United States. For now, though, she's living the simple life of a girl whose father helped build the phones at least half of you use every day, and whose mother is a successful investor worth over $20 billion in her own right. Romance-wise, Eve is playing it safe and palling around with a fellow horse person. Her boyfriend is Mexican equestrian Eugenio Garza Perez, which means neither of them can accuse the other of spending too much time around their favorite horses. We won't bother introducing Tiffany Trump's father because you already know who he is. You likely also have an extremely strong opinion on him, but let's instead focus on his daughter Tiffany. She's the Trump you're least likely to see help her father run the United States. Tiffany Trump was born in 1993, the only child of Donald Trump and Marla Maples. Growing up, she was often in the spotlight as a rich socialite in her own right. She even released a pop single in 2011 entitled Like a Bird. Considering her singing career never made it to a second song, apparently the bird in question was a dodo. Tiffany drifted even further into the spotlight once her father announced his candidacy for president. Even so, she's never been an official member of administration, nor does she often speak up on her father's behalf. The closest she's come to doing so was during the 2016 Republican National Convention. There, she described him as someone who always helped me be the best version of myself. Since her father became president, Tiffany has focused on studying law at Georgetown University. She sparingly appears at White House events and typically only as moral support rather than the active administrative roles her much older half-siblings have embraced. Overall, she seems intent on staying as private as someone related to Donald Trump possibly can. Hi, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg's daughter. We were just talking about you too. Georgina's father, one of the richest businessmen in the world with a net worth of over $58 billion, has blessed his daughter with a grand life. However, she didn't always appreciate it, especially when working as a teenager to build her own brands and her own name. Naturally, she always found herself compared to her famous father, which aggravated her to the point where at age 19 she flat out said having the last name Bloomberg sucks. Now, a wise 34, she no longer feels that bad about being a Bloomberg, mostly because it turns out embracing her family name hasn't hindered her personal journey in the slightest. Like Jennifer Gates and Eve Jobs, Georgina is an accomplished equestrian, though one who realizes it's not always affordable to pursue show jumping. So at age 23, she started a charity called Rider's Closet, designed to help equestrians afford to pursue their passion. Her animal-centric philanthropy doesn't end with horses either. She regularly partners with the Humane Society to promote animal adoption and champions animal rescue as well. This sometimes involves taking matters into her own hands. After Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, Georgina chartered her father's private jet to get stranded animals out of there. See? Being a Bloomberg doesn't suck after all. Blue Ivy Carter's parents, Beyonce and Jay-Z, are hip-hop's golden couple with plenty of gold to back them up. With parents worth over $1.2 billion, Blue won't be financially blue anytime soon. We don't know much about the 7-year-old Blue Ivy's day-to-day life because her parents designed it that way. Beyonce, in particular, is fiercely private and secretive to the point where her fans didn't know she had a Snapchat until she and her daughter randomly posted a snap online. That said, between touring with her mother to appearing on songs recorded by both her parents, we've actually seen a fair bit of Blue and know quite a bit about her personality. She's apparently a really good ballet dancer and has sass for decades. At just 4 years old, she realized the paparazzi were following her. She turned around, wagged her finger at the shutterbugs and yelled, "No pictures!" Needless to say, nobody was brave enough to take pictures. She's also a budding fashionista with incredible makeup and clothing styles she clearly inherited from her mother. In fact, the two often dress similarly or thematically. If that's not enough, she's already an award-winning songwriter. Technically. She won a Songwriters Award at the 2019 Soul Train Awards thanks to her vocals being featured in Brown Skin Girl from the Lion King soundtrack. It's not like Bob Dylan writing Like a Rolling Stone all by himself, but we've all got to start somewhere. What kind of person will Blue Ivy Carter wind up being? There's no way to know that for sure, since she's barely in the first grade. But one thing's for sure, her life won't be dull. Peter Brandt is a businessman and film producer whose fortune has climbed as high as $1.5 billion and as low as $500 million, and is currently sitting pretty at around $800 million. But while a card-carrying member of the Billionaires Club, he sired two boys named Peter II and Harry. These two live extremely public lives of posh socialites, regardless of how much their family is actually worth. Simply put, the Brandt brothers are hot, sexy, and rich, and they know it. Much of their public image is centered around how fabulous they are and how fabulous their lives are. They spend much of their time partying, enjoying art and cinema, and hanging out with other ultra-wealthy socialites. Unfortunately, this fun and parties all the time lifestyle sometimes devolves into incidents, like the time in 2016 when a drunken Peter II found himself arrested for belligerence at an airport. The brothers' 2014 photo shoot with supermodel mum Stephanie Seymour, where she wore revealing clothing and her sons posed with her as if they were her young lovers, further raises questions as to how exactly the Brants were raised. That said, they're older now and attempting to make real names for themselves. In 2015, the two partnered with makeup line MAC to create a unisex line of makeup. The goal, of course, is to introduce both boys and men to the wonders of makeup. It's not exactly chartering a plane to rescue animals from a disaster zone, but we're guessing the Brants are too rich to care about our opinions. Chances are you've used a Dell computer at some point in your life. 26-year-old Alexa Dell, daughter of billionaire computer mogul Michael Dell, thanks you for your purchase. As a child, Alexa and her siblings pursued many different passions as their parents were keen on them forging their own paths in life. Alexa did just that, dropping out of college in 2013 to pursue a career as a growth consultant. In less fancy terms, she helps businesses be better at business. Her main thing appears to be dating apps. She works as an advisor to Bumble, the dating site where women initiate the conversation. Before that, she actually dated the CEO of Tinder, whom she met on Tinder. Imagine the scandal if they swiped right on each other through OkCupid. Alexa is no longer with the Tinder guy, nor is she actively on any other dating app. Currently, she's dating a millionaire real estate investor named Ashia Harrison Rafua, a billionaire father and a millionaire boyfriend. No wonder every hint of her on social media screams living her best life. Michael Jordan is one of only 3 billionaire athletes in history, and his daughter Jasmine is absolutely following in his footsteps. Not basketball though. We're talking about the other thing Michael Jordan's famous for, sneakers. In her personal life, the 26-year-old Jordan is a sneakerhead. She owns hundreds of pairs that she stores at both her home, her father's house, and her mother's. Her business life is sneaker-centric too, as she works with her dad as a designer and field representative for the Nike Jordan brand. If that's not enough, her second job sees her working with the NBA's Charlotte Hornets. You get one guess as to who owns the Hornets. When not working, Jasmine Jordan keeps a rather private life. Much like her famous yet elusive father, Jasmine prefers to stay at home with her family than live a crazy socialite life. But she's not a complete hermit and will sometimes venture out into the public eye. Luckily for her, she'll always have a great pair of shoes for such an occasion. Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle, has a cool $69 billion to his name. So, from the start, his 36-year-old son David has had the ability to do whatever he wanted, however he wanted. As it turns out, what he wanted was to make big, expensive movies with big, expensive explosions. In 2006, David founded Skydance Media. Starting in 2010, the company began working with Paramount Pictures and hasn't stopped since. As a producer or the executive producer, Ellison has helped bring the world such blockbusters as True Grit, G.I. Joe, Retaliation, World War Z, 2 Star Trek films, 2 Terminator films, 2 Jack Reacher films, and 3 Mission Impossible films. If you've chowed down on popcorn at a theater this decade and weren't seeing a Marvel movie, you probably saw something David Ellison helped create. When not making movies, Ellison is making flight patterns. He is a licensed pilot who can fly helicopters, commercial airplanes, multi-engine aircraft, and aerobatics, aka those cool trick pilots at air shows who fly upside down and do fascinating loop-de-loops. In short, for a guy who could have just coasted off his father's 11-figure fortune his entire life, David Ellison has done a ton for himself. Even if you think his big-budget explodey movies are pure garbage, you have to admire that kind of drive.
There's one possession on which billionaires are spending a fortune and making a killing. Property. Penthouses, stately piles, fairy tale palaces to leave no one in doubt who's king.
They're building fortresses. I like to refer to them as embassies.
Fortunes are lavished on their transformation.
We walked through a house in the country the other day, and it had 2 swimming pools off the bedrooms on the top floor.
Why 2?
One for each child. Ask a silly question. These people live very primitive lifestyles. They'll often have 5, 6, 7 houses.
They don't actually live anywhere, which means that they don't make friends with other people because they're never in one place long enough. There's a sense of impermanence in a lot of their houses because they don't invest in their lives in the same way that we do. It's just stuff. It's all tradable.
These are the most coveted houses in the world. But to many billionaires, they're not so much homes as appreciating assets.
I can think of one client who has multiple properties. One in the
Welcome to the Billionaire.
make sure that the flowers are fresh,
We
that the water in the vase is steamy,
riding
and the driver and the handyman make
airplanes.
sure that everything's working. And the employer has never stepped down.
Billionaire.
Tracks the international super rich in their droves. London.
London has become a sort of billionaire capital of the world. Their wealth has accelerated at a rate that one simply couldn't believe was possible 15, 20 years ago.
The rich are getting richer, and certainly that gives them opportunities. They're buying more and more properties around the world.
The biggest draw for London to super billionaires is somewhere to park money. Let's invest it in property. It's so buoyant at the moment. London's such a bubble.
Today, London is a home of sorts to over 100 billionaires.
When everyone is moaning about overseas people buying in London, this is not bad. This is a sign of success. Just look at the skyline now. All of these buildings, they weren't here 15 years ago.
Waves of excited foreign buyers sashaying into the UK property market have created a whole new class of real estate. It's known as super prime. They're queuing to snap up top-end British real estate gems, like this £25 million mega mansion in North London.
Money.
It's got a magnificent little lodge as you come in. It's got a guest house. It's got garaging. And of course it's got a 9-hole golf course, which I don't think many houses have in prime central London.
At 20,000 square feet, there's enough room to swing a tiger in here. And toy-wise, well, even the most restless billionaire would be struggling to complain, but there's no accounting for taste.
I can't really see the benefit of the cinema, which means you've got to invite people over to watch a movie. Well, do you really want to do that? I mean, you've got people who've got televisions in every single room, including the bathroom. And you know how much time you could spend in a bath watching a movie. You know, you end up like an old prude at the end of it all.
The type of buyer who's looking for a house like this will want to perhaps replicate what he has in his own country. It's more likely to be somebody who is Eastern European, for example, from Moscow, who live just outside Moscow, or it'll be a Middle Eastern family where bedroom count is very important and gardens are very important.
They very much want new and they want shiny because they're purchasing very much in order to impress their friends.
And to some buyers, nothing screams unimpressive like a lot of stairs to climb.
Clients from the Middle East,
Yes.
stairs are no-no. And I mean just steps up to the front door. They don't do it. Even a sort of first floor apartment would need to have a lift. So that's their priority. And, it sounds corny, but proximity to Harrods is absolutely what it's all about.
London property is an asset class in itself. People are actually buying property just in the same way they buy wine.
This money is making money faster than a worker bee can make money. So capital makes more money for itself than somebody working to earn a living.
For the showier high-end house hunter, property is all about one-upmanship. Who's the boss? Who has just bought Whittenhurst in Highgate, North London? Once refurbished, it's said to be worth around £200 million. It's the second largest mega mansion in London after Buckingham Palace. Well, there's always one, isn't there? But size isn't everything for another group of billionaire property buyers, what stokes their ardor is location.
It's like a 4-horse race. If you put a leader table, Belgravio would be at the top. Then followed by Knightsbridge, Mayfair, Chelsea.
Andrew Langton has been selling London super prime for nearly half a century.
If you are approached by a buyer who says, I want to find a house with scale, volume, important location, you've got to say, well, Belgrave Square is right at the top of the list. I mean, like Seaford House over here, I mean, that is as fine a house as you'll ever see anywhere in this town. Over the last 10 years, you've seen a dramatic rise. I mean, I remember selling a house on the south side for no more than about 16, 17 million. That house today is obviously appreciated by at least 50 to 60 million. This gradually will be known as Billionaire Square.
Ordinary mortals buy to live in, billionaires buy to leave alone.
I don't think I have ever bought a property for an uber wealthy person. 4 weeks of the year.
One of my clients has this as an amazing estate with huge acreage, stables, full staff all the time. They were in the country 12 days last year.
I have a concern that London is going to be an enlarging ghetto of vacant properties.
Like these vacant North London houses on what's known as Billionaires Row.
I've seen examples of that, particularly in Hampstead, where one owner had about 7 houses. There were more butterflies flying around that house than there were people because the amount of butterfly growing out of the roof.
A very rich person once told me when he was explaining his elaborate plans to move around the world. He said, we don't travel.
I don't think that there is that kind of heart of the home that we have. In my house, everybody gravitates towards the kitchen. To me, that's home. But I don't think that the ultra-rich necessarily have that.
Coming up, when property gets extremely expensive, even for the very wealthy.
The Venetian Palace is obviously one of the most expensive properties on the planet. Almost 100 million euros is a lot of money even for very, very rich people.
And billionaires on the up. 7-star hotel living in the sky.
We live in a fortress of great wealth, and you keep out poor people.
For billionaires, more property means more bills, more staff, and more one-upmanship. And nowhere is this competitive element fiercer than on the French Riviera. So when the super-rich go house hunting, they need the help of Sotheby's own Alexander Croft, Monaco realtor, multi-millionaire in his own right, and a man who knows firsthand exactly what billionaires are looking for.
I think I may be the ultimate estate agent in that I live a lifestyle that's very close to the lifestyle of those clients. I really do understand them. I have 5 homes in 4 different countries. I'm certainly not super rich, but still I have this little collection of homes. I also like cars, which are very nice toys, and I keep them here in the country house to play with. So my English side again, I've got a Bentley, an Aston, an old Jag for the Italian moments, and after Spider. I think today I'd rather take the Bentley because it's really the most comfortable. So the smoothest ride is always a Bentley.
Today, Alexander is day tripping to Cannes to view a property he's been instructed to sell. The pool of potential buyers, though, is trade.
The Venetian Palace is one of the most expensive properties on the planet. It's priced at 95 million euros, and almost 100 million euros is a lot of money for very, very rich people. The Venetian Palace is based in one of the best areas of Cannes. You're overlooking the entire coast, you can see the sea, so it's in a very privileged position on the Côte d'Azur.
Alexander,
In a scene straight out of a Christian Dior advert, Alexandra is given the grand tour of the property by Sotheby's colleague Pascal Monti.
This is a Billionaire. Wow. Pretty amazing, isn't it? How big is it in total? In total, we have like 3,000 square meters of it. Wow.
That's 32,000 square feet, or 34 times bigger than the average British house.
Pretty nice plot. So this is the main reception area. This is the main reception. On one side, we could have like the living room. On the other side, like a dining room. Depending on the need of the client.
This vast, wonderful space is silent now, and is likely to remain so even when it's eventually snapped up.
What this new class are, they are sort of super beings. They don't actually live anywhere. I call them cosmocrats or globos, kind of these global citizens with multiple houses, often multiple nationalities. So they don't actually live anywhere, which means that they don't make friends with other people because they're never in one place long enough.
The socialising that does go on at home is in between work clients. So it's clients coming in for dinner, and that's quite a formal occasion. It's very much an entertaining sort of feel to the evening rather than friends getting together for a curry.
Thank you. Wow, what a view. This is pretty amazing. Koi? This is Koi. Yeah. So I have a question for you. How do you get over to the island? We get a remote from that. Oh, I love it. Just push it. Electric drawbridge. This is the 21st century. You know, a lot of people who are going to love it, I think. I already got some people in mind for that. Oh, that's perfect.
The drawbridge. Even out here in the epicenter of one-upmanship, it's an impressive flourish.
I think for the super rich properties, real estate is very important because real estate is also an outward expression of the success of your standing in the world. There's quite a lot of competition and rivalry between the super rich. For many people, it's a question, am I at the best address? Do I have the biggest property on the Cap Ferrat in southern France? Do I have the biggest house on Union Square? Do I have the biggest penthouse on Fifth Avenue?
As if it would be perfect property for us, for example. Yeah, I do think so too. They love always pure properties with all the gadgets, with all the extras, and a lot of space. Yeah, exactly. Maybe also by like the Middle East investor as well. Yeah, absolutely. Qatar, perhaps. Well, this property obviously is designed to impress. This is designed to awe. And I think when one arrives here, just, the scale, the proportions, the layout, people will love it. There will also be people who hate it.
The cleanup has started, and probably the bloke who mows the lawns. Once again, huge property, huge commitment.
I do think there's some stresses to having several houses, even if you have several PAs and house managers, that ultimately you're going to have to make a call that the hurricane has just swept your island down.
The super rich have problems that no one can understand, except they're equally rich social competitors.
So it means either you can't talk about things that you do in your life because the person is going to resent you, or say, or worse, they might make fun of you. And the super rich live in fear of being made fun of. So what do? You surround yourself with someone where everybody is just like you. And then you talk about the problems. The main conversations amongst the rich is the problem of having to pay tax.
Paying high rates of tax is, of course, a high-class problem. But it's one that can be easily swept under the person by landing yourself here in Monte Carlo, capital of the Principality of Monaco, and the king of tax havens. As a result, it's top of the league for its property prices.
Monaco is the second smallest country in the world after the Vatican. So obviously, growth has to be upwards because there's no other way. Square meter prices in Monaco are the highest, if not the highest in the world. They start somewhere at 30,000 euros that can go up all the way to more than 100,000 euros per square meter.
So why would anyone want to swap a palace in Cannes for a mere penthouse in Monte Carlo?
For the super rich, Monaco really has a unique appeal because obviously you do have tax advantages, but frankly there are many tax havens around the world. Almost nowhere else in the world you are as safe as you are in Monaco. You can wear your jewelry, your watches, your car without any
without being twice.
Alexander has recently added his Monaco apartment to some of his books.
Wow. So they just completely restored the apartment?
Exactly.
Okay. This is something rare, you know, a nice contemporary apartment like this. Very nice pieces, very good art. I love the mixture. It's really unique. Wow, that's what I call it you. I mean, this apartment is amazing because you look really in all directions, right? You have the view over there, you have the sea there, you have the yacht club over there. I mean, all the landmarks in one building. So, I mean, I think this is an apartment that appeals almost to everyone, right? It's perfectly renovated. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, from Monaco, 500 square meters.
That's just over 5,000 square feet. The kitchen's a little bit special, but there are only 3 bedrooms. Still, the master bedroom has in-the-first dressing rooms and a bathroom that provides the unique platform to show the whole town that size isn't everything.
See this view?
If you take a bath here, it's like swimming in the sky, isn't it? I mean, blue everywhere. It doesn't get much better than that. What do you have here? Concierge.
You have a pool, a restaurant next to the pool.
Alright, okay.
And you have a shop next to the
parking spaces.
Parking spaces.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean, definitely, I think 40 million.
Come again?
40 million.
40 million euros for a 3-bedroom flat is the astonishing price of tax avoidance for the Monaco-bound billionaire. But in this rich hero's world, massive financial hits are simply another cross to bear.
Get great luxury which the very rich live in. It's like a fortress. We live in a fortress of great wealth. And we keep out poor people. They are increasingly living in a bubble. They're very lonely. That's sort of one of the key things that we noticed.
I mean, they're in their gilded cages, and they have everything they can possibly want. They don't exactly have a life.
Coming up, billionaires dig deep, but when you run out of space in London, the only way to go is down.
Leisure centre, the swimming pool, the gymnasium, the cinema,
sauna, steam room, plunge pool, and an art store. I mean, obviously, everybody has to have an art store. About half the road disappeared into an enormous hole, like a bomb crater.
We were frightened. The house was really unsafe. We were going to wake up in a pile of rubble in the morning.
Super prime property in central London is mostly old, beautiful, and protected. Even the high rollers can't build high rise and big systems. So they're digging down to create hidden trades.
You know, I was driving down one of the prime West London streets the other day, and the whole square was full of skips and hoardings at ground level because every other property was digging down.
It's the latest form of competition between the super rich.
You can hear the drilling all the time because everybody's creating their iceberg houses so they can make a 10 million or a 15 million pound mansion into a 20 million or a 25 million pound mansion.
Bigger is better, and biggest is best of all.
Well, I think basements are a bit like comparing penis sizes, you know, in boarding school. That it's basically about the size of your house.
They're building fortresses. I like to refer to them as embassies. There is definitely a trend whereby people aspire to basically create a personal embassy. The underground emporiums of the super rich often have facilities that rival the top London health clubs.
Standard London house for basement would be the swimming pool, spa, sauna, a cinema, hairdressers, the must-haves.
Some of the swimming pools are 8 meters, 24 feet length by 12, 15 feet wide. So they're not small. One that always springs to mind is the one that has a 10-meter high diving board into the swimming pool in the basement. That's in a very central location in London.
That's a dive through 2 floors of the average London home. And if you're swimming
years, children were majorly into autopilot, so you need the pool at a different height, so the pool goes up and down.
That way the children can play around, or they have a pool, or the floor can go all the way down and they can use it as a full swimming pool.
I've seen lots of cinemas and places, it's a common thing. Media rooms in all cinemas, media rooms.
An ice room, sauna, massage room, changing rooms,
bowling alley, squash court. The basement was 5,000 square foot, and it was exclusively to be able to display their artwork.
Disco dancing room with a few of those in actually.
Staff quarters, don't ever underestimate staff quarters. Absolutely. Well, garages are very important because you can't park 8-car garages with lifts going down in.
One of our clients jokingly said it'd be quite handy to have an entrance onto the platform for distribution.
They've got everything. You tend to think, well, it's sort of now totally out of control and ridiculous.
Soaring property prices mean that mega basements are worth a fortune. The price, sometimes paid by their neighbours, the really wealthy, is immeasurable. Claire Lashmer has lived for 22 years in London's celebrity ridge, Primrose Hill. She became a victim of iceberg housing when her next-door neighbour began digging down in May 2012.
People want extra bedrooms, family expanding, they don't want to move. I'm all for that. But gyms and swimming pools and ODs, why not go to the local OD? Why not go to the swimming pool? Why do you have to have it in your house? Of which most of these things seem to be very fat, and I don't think they use any of these things anyway.
3 months after the work began, the house next door fell down.
Suddenly on August the 15th in 2012, in the night, a pier crashed down and went into a void with water. We still don't know what's happened. It was incredibly scary because the whole of my house just shifted and you really thought the house was going to come down. And it cracked every room into the house. There isn't a house there apart from the roof. That's the only thing that's left. I've had 2 years now with just one brick out into the elements of the air on the whole of one side of my house, which is my main room and my bedroom. So it's been freezing cold. The damp comes in. My clothes have got mould, my shoes have got mould, the heating bill's been drastically more. The other thing which is really sad is once this is done in possibly a year's time, which will be 4 years, then we'll have to move out to have our house repaired. So it's going to be a 5 or 6 year hassle, I think. I can't move, I can't rent the place, you just have to wait. Oh God, they are your worst nightmare. One single household can inconvenience an entire neighbourhood for up to 2 or 3 years. If he had come to me at the beginning and said, I have wrecked your life, I'm really, really sorry, we'll put this right, blah, 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 I would have had a very different attitude, I must say.
In neighbouring leafy Hampstead, where house prices average around £2 million, a support group has been formed to lobby against iceberg homes.
I bought my flat 25 years ago for a pittance. I am property rich and cash poor.
In Peter Simmons Street, there are 5 mega basements in a row.
They're like
Everybody,
you've got a swimming pool. Oh, I want a swimming pool.
Only I want a bigger
Only I want a bigger swimming pool. I'm looking at a mock-up here, fascinating mock-up of an iceberg house, and it goes down 50 feet, 4 levels. That's amazing. We have a ballroom, a 45-foot swimming pool, a hot tub, massage room, sauna, steam room, lunch room, and an art store. I mean, obviously, everybody has to have an art store.
Even if there are 4,000 letters of objection from every single house around him, and 3 roads will be closed for 2 years, and so on and so on, there is nothing in current planning law that enables the planning committee to say, no, you can't dig your double